Good morning, everyone. Sanket, can you confirm that is my screen visible?
Yes.
Thank you. So, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on a weekend morning. So, welcome to another event of Kochi Developer Group. So, today's session will be on leverage LWC and screen flows to build powerful solutions. Talking about me, I am Swati Agarwal. I am a senior Salesforce consultant at Marlabs. I am 9x certified Salesforce developer. And here I have mentioned my LinkedIn and Twitter handle. You can reach out to me over there. Along with me, we are having Sandhya as a co-leader. She is a Salesforce architect at UST Kochi. She is a 6x certified application architect. Sandhya's LinkedIn and Twitter handle are also mentioned. So, talking about today's agenda. Today, our speaker Sanket will talk about reactive screens in Flow and its capability to integrate with LWC to build powerful solutions. And you can ask your question, you can post your question answers in the Q&A tab in between the session so that Sanket will take up at the end of the session. Also, please take a screenshot of this slide because we have an amazing giveaway post this event. You can take the screenshot of the useful slides. I would say not all the slides because whatever slides will relevant and will you have some takeaways from those slides. Please post those slides with your takeaway words, like what you have takeaway from those slides and our today's session. So the you can post on Twitter or LinkedIn, and by tomorrow we will select one winner of who has shared maximum posts. So but all the SFDC Kochi, my Twitter handle, Sandhya's Twitter handle, and Sanket Twitter handle. All these Twitter handles should be mentioned there. So this is the criteria. And again, I would say please take screenshot of relevant slides only. So you can take a screenshot of the slides. Also, I'll be posting these Twitter handles on the chat window also. And talking about our today's speaker. So our today's speaker is Sanket, and Sanket is a technical specialist at Coforge. He is also a Salesforce Architect Group Leader, Hyderabad. He is 2x Lightning Champion. Also, he is a blogger at Salesforce Diaries, Salesforce Stack Exchange contributor with 14-point K reputation. And he is fintech and financial blockchain as well as distributed ledger. So you can reach out to Sanket with the mentioned LinkedIn and Twitter handle for any of the queries, and stay tuned for his upcoming blogs and whatever posts he will be sharing with you. So yeah, so I'll stop sharing my screen and I'll hand over the screen to Sanket so that he can start with his presentation. Sanket, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Swati. I will share my screen. Let me know if you can see it. Is it?
Yes, I would request there is a below, yeah, height. There. Perfect. Your screen is perfectly visible.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, hi everyone. Good morning, and thank you for joining our session this early morning on a weekend. I know it's hard. So, thank you, Swati and Sandhya, uh, for inviting me to speak with Kochi Developer Group. Today, our agenda is how we can leverage LWC and screen flows, integrate them, how we can make them work together and build powerful solutions, the use cases which you got from customers or day-to-day life. So I'm going to talk about first what LWC and flow can result in. So basically, what are the benefits and what LWC has and Flow has, which are not present in each other, and together they make together they make a good user experience. How you can launch Flow from LWC, and how you can embed LWC in Flow and their communication back and forth. So how you can pass the data from LWC to Flow, Flow to LWC, how they can handle an event, and finally I will show you a couple of demos which I have prepared, uh, so that you can do uh, make use of it in your day-to-day life. Going to the first slide. So coming to LWC. So as you know, right, LWC is highly customizable user interface, whereas Flow, it's a drag and drop interface. So consider any element from Flow. Let's say a text element, right? Input text element. So there are very less scope of customizing it in terms of user interface. Whereas coming to LWC, you can customize it on very high level. So means going, you can do as many things you want in LWC elements, and there is a scope of direct DOM manipulation. But coming to Flow, we don't have a scope of DOM manipulation. And also LWC will give you fine grained control over the component lifecycle, like when you whether you want to override their behavior, load behavior, or render behavior. You can do those kind of things in LWC. Whereas coming to Flow, uh, Flow doesn't have that, but it has its own set of features, right? So a good feature, some of the good features and unique features which I can see is integration with external systems. So recently, Flow gives us that flexibility that we can integrate it with external system. Also, pause and resume. So when Flow interviews start, you can pause it or resume it, and that is a unique feature in Flow, right? So uh, consider in your day-to-day life you get some requirement, and you, after analyzing it, you found, okay, some of the features are available in LWC, but some of the features are available in Flow. So how to bring them together and build a solution. So first we are going to see how we can launch Flow from LWC, right? So uh, a lightning flow basically represent a screen flow interview in lightning runtime. So how we can invoke this, and what are the required parameters? So there is a parameter called flow API name, which is required to start a new flow interview. And you can pass the variables, right? Whatever the input variables required to invoke the flow. And to start the flow, you have to use start flow method. So I'm just going quickly going to jump into the code. Yeah. So basically, I have created a new LWC component, and I have named it flow from LWC, right? So in this component, I'm going to show you two use cases. First use case is how you can load a flow on load of the LWC itself, like without clicking a button or doing anything. Directly load the flow, a screen flow from the LWC. So that part is covered from these three lines. Now consider a scenario. You want to do it on click of something, or on some event, right? So that part we will be covering as part of this 3 4 line of code. So this lightning flow is a feature which allows you to launch flows, and you have to pass flow API name, and this API name is nothing but the a screen flow API name. So if we quickly jump back to Salesforce, yeah, okay. So you can see, right, what I have done is we have created a flow basically. Yes. So this flow, yeah. So this is a simple flow, screen flow. So we are going to launch it from LWC. We are not launching it directly from Flow. what we are doing is we are launching it from LWC. So the API name, I can see this is the API name, Flow API name. So I just copied it and passed it to this variable. And since this is a very simple one, I don't have any input variable here. If you have any input variable, let's say you want to pass some value from LWC to Flow, so you can pass the input variables like this. So you can just create a getter variable, and you can let's say you have 5 input variable to pass, so you can do just like this. uh, Variable 1, variable 2, similarly you can have n number of that. So here you have to say this is the name of the variable, whatever name of the variable you're going to. For example, here it is account, right? So same thing you have to mention here. Instead of opportunity ID, you will mention account, and then type of that variable, whether it's a string or integer or boolean or s object, whatever it is. Yeah, and then you can pass the value from here, and that will be you will be passing that under this attribute. And this on status change is nothing but anything happens in flow side. Let's say you went in a new screen, or the flow started or flow ends, so you will be get notified, and you can handle that behavior using this event status change. You can handle it uh, in the JS based on whatever you want to do. So based on the status, you can handle a number of things in this component itself. So as you can see, so I have very simple a screen flow, just added few couple of input fields. So same thing I have added on the home page. So on the load itself, this flow is getting loaded. Now you can also see I have this button. Now I'm going, when I click this button, I will be launching another flow on click of that. So when you click here, you can see another flow gets launched, right? So how I did that? So I have this button and then on click handler. So on click of this button, what I am doing is I am querying this lightning flow component. So so you can see there are two lightning flows. This is one and this is another one. So I am querying this one using this data ID attributes, so that because my target is to launch flow within this one. This one is already launched as we have passed the API name and all. So we are passing API name and the input variable from JavaScript using a programmatic method. So we are querying the lightning flow element and then invoking this start flow method and passing the API name of the screen flow and then input variable. So as soon as we click on this button, it launched this flow. So that's what happened, right? Going back to the slide. So next one is how you can embed LWC within a flow. So uh, right now we saw how we can launch flow from LWC. Now we are going to see another way around, how you can embed LWC within a screen flow, right? Sometimes you get the requirement to do something which is not possible in a screen flow, so you will do it in via LWC. So what you will do, you will use in LWC we have targets, right? In the XML file, like where you want to use that particular uh, component. So in that target, we will, if you mention lightning flow screen, that LWC will be available to be used inside a screen flow. And how to communicate, right? So there are events which are available as part of this module, lightning flow support module, which provides you to control the flow navigation. So let me jump to the code. and then we can talk, right? So basically, so this is one of the component here, right? So I have created a component called reactive LWC, and I am intending to use this component within a flow. So how we can use? So we have to mention the targets, right? So what we have said, within the target, we have mentioned this target lightning flow script. By using this, it makes sure that this component is available to be used within a screen flow. So let's go quickly to the that particular flow and let me show you, right? So you can see this is my one of the screen flow, and here I wanted to use this component, right? Reactive LWC component I wanted to use. So if you see, right, this is a simple text input. This is a standard part of this screen flow itself, but this is my custom component, LWC component, which we have made available for a screen flow, and you can see all the custom components which are available to be used with a screen flow here. So you can drag and drop, right? Just drag and drop and then configure their attributes. So just by using this target attribute, it will be available. Now you can configure further more things. Let's say there is some public property, right? So you have defined a public property at the rate API reactive value. So something you are expecting from flow to be received it within the LWC. So you can mention it as a within the target config so that it is available within the flow to be uh, so you can see here, right? So this reactive value property is available here for you to configure what value you want to pass. So what we are doing, whatever value user is going to input in this flow text element, that we are passing to the LWC. So let me quickly just demo it to you, right? So this is flow input and this is LWC component. So whatever we are going to enter here, that should automatically come up. So you can see it is coming, right? So whatever value we are passing, it is coming up directly. How it is possible? So see, it is simple. Just we have a lightning input within the LWC, and just we have marked it as disabled. And whatever value coming from the flow, we are just showing it. So there is one feature recently came up that is called reactive screen. So you have to go to process automation setting, and I will show you that setting. So if you go to process automation setting, there is a checkbox you have to enable so that it can react like they can communicate instantly. So you can see here, right? This is the option. Reactive screens make your flow screen components react to the changes on the same screen. So previously, what used to happen is whatever value you are having in this text element, if you want to pass it instantly to this LWC, it was not possible. But since this feature is in beta mode at the moment, we can use that and make it reactive. So this is one way. Another way is, so here we have talked two concepts. First one is embedding a LWC within the flow, and second is how you can pass value from flow to LWC. Now we are going to see how we can embed LWC within the flow and pass value from LWC to flow. Opposite, whatever we talked previously, passing data from flow to LWC. This time we will pass from LWC to flow. So consider we have a component, and that component is having just simple lightning input, and whatever user is going to type in that component, right, that input, we have to pass it to flow and display it in flow, right? So as you can see, we just have a handle change, a simple handle change method for this input, and whatever value is being typed, we are storing it in a public property. We have defined a public property called name. Now how you can pass it to flow is you have to use this module lightning flow support, and then you have to consume this function flow attribute change event, and you have to fire this event. So how do we fire custom events in LWC? Similar kind of things. We have to dispatch that event so that flow can listen. Okay, something is coming from LWC. I have to handle it. So we are saying that okay, we are passing you this name value, and value is this one. And again, since we are going to use this LWC within the flow, so we are using this target as lightning flow screen. And within the target config, you have to say uh, you have to expose that property. So we have just exposed that and said role is equal to output only. So we are just sending the data from LWC to flow. That's why. Now I can demo that to you. So this is the flow. Basically, if you see here, so this is my LWC to embed on a screen flow, the same component which we have created, right? Now, whatever value is being tagged under this LWC component, we have to display it in this flow input. This is a simple text element from the flow itself. This is LWC, this is flow. So whatever we are going to type here, that should come up here, right? So let me just refresh it and show it. So you can see, right? Anything I am going to type, that is coming under this flow input element instantly. But there is some, like, since this feature reactive screen feature is in beta, there are some limitation as well. So limitation is if you use it under display text, I have used the same thing, right? Whatever I am using is, you can see default value I'm passing LWC input dot name, like whatever the value is coming from this LWC component. The same thing, I am using under this text display text element as well. But here you can see in the demo, it is not coming up. It is coming up when I say next. So on the, okay, I have to type something. When I say next, you can see, so I had two screens. In the next screen also, I am just using whatever value coming from the LWC, I am showing it here. So on the next screen, it was available, but on the previous screen, whatever we are typing, that was not coming. So this is one limitation I can see. But other than that, inside the input elements, it's work perfectly fine. Whatever you are going to type, it will come in. Yeah. So going back to the slide. Yeah. Okay. So, okay. So going back to this embed LWC, yeah, here, right? So I want to show you this. What name I have given here under this LWC component? The API name is LWC input. So you might wonder, okay, how to fetch the properties, right? This LWC component had this property, right? Name public property. So I want this value to be available in this flow so that I can pass that to this flow input. So what we are doing, so whatever the API name you are providing, the same API name we are using and their public property. So if you say, you can see, right, you will automatically get the values. This is the LWC input, and the public property which are available to be used within the flow, you can see here. So you can use this, right? Similarly, going to the previous flow, not this one, yeah, this one. So here, what is the API name we have given to this flow input, flow text input? This one, right? Flow input. So within the LWC, we have exposed this property so that we can pass the value from the flow to the LWC, right? So uh, we have just passed like this, the API name within in this format. So the value will be passed from here to here. Now, like where you can explore more on this, right? So I have written a couple of more scenarios on flows which you can explore on the blog, like for example, how you can dynamically pass LWC to lightning model by using lightning flow, right? So basically this is the way. First I will show you the demo. So you just see this demo. So on a button click, I am opening a model, and inside that model, I am passing LWC component. So LWC and Aura, coming to LWC and Aura was having dynamic creation feature of LWC component, but LWC doesn't have that feature. Like you cannot directly create LWC in runtime, right? So that feature you can override using uh, by mixing LWC and flow. So what all we have to do is you can create LWC, and then you can launch a flow from that, and inside that flow you will have another LWC. So we have seen this example, right? On a button click, we are firing and we are launching a flow. So if a LWC is already placed within this lightning flow, that will be dynamically launched, correct? So that is dynamic creation of a LWC component from another LWC component in runtime can be handled using this feature. And I can see similar to this, you can build so many features, right, which are not currently possible by using just LWC. Apart from this, I want to say you can go through this flow support and flow based component. So you can read what other things you can do from this base component. So basically you can just go through these attributes and method. So I have shown you a start flow, like how to start the flow from button click, right? So but I haven't shown you this thing, resume flow. So you can try it on your own, like how you can resume a flow from button click, uh, how you can pass different kind of flow input behavior, how you can override flow finish behavior. Like somebody asks you, okay, uh, when somebody clicks on finish, I want to do this or that, right? So how you can do that? You can easily handle those kind of things using this flow finish behavior. And coming to flow support, so you have, I only shown you this one, flow attribute change event. but there are a couple of more events available, right? Flow navigation back event, flow navigation next event, flow navigation pause event, finish event. So how to use them as well, you can explore, and you can yeah, you can build so many solutions. So I am done with my demo and quick intro and brief discussion on how you can build solution using LWC flow, and how you can improve the user experience, right? So I'm open to now take the questions. If there is any questions, Swati, we have.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Sanket, for a wonderful presentation. And we are having a couple of questions. I'll read out for you.
Okay.
So, first question we have: Can we call record triggered flow from LWC?
So again, right? So this whatever we discussed today is related to screen flows. Now, record triggered flows are for like intended for something else. They are intended for process automation. So they will you can uh, there is a workaround. If you do any DML operation from LWC and you have some record flow, then they will invoke. But record triggered flows uh, will also invoke whenever there is a change in your database, right? Whenever there is a record get created or updated, and you have a record flow for that particular object. So basically, whatever we talked is for LWC and a screen flow.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah, and I think Neha already answered this. Thank you so much, Neha. I think Sanket also answered the same. So thank you so much. And another question we are having from Prasun also. We are using lightning underscore flow screen in target. In case we are using LWC on homepage or record page, how will do that?
okay,
Yeah, I think syntax Neha has shown, but yeah, Sanket, can you
yeah.
add?
So for example, this particular component we have used on homepage, right? So we have so many targets available, a different kind of target. So you can see here, if you want to use a LWC on app page, record page, home page, these are the syntax. And you can find all the available targets if you just go to developer guide and search for target here, you will get them all the available targets which you can yeah. So
Okay, next. Yeah,
here you can get all the kind of targets.
perfect. Okay. Next question we have from Nishank. If the organization is using a version control system and two developers are assigned different tasks on the same flow, are they able to collaborate?
Okay. So like, see, this is a problem in every scenario. So if two developers are working on same flow, right, and same component as well, my suggestion would be you divide your features. So let's say there is a thing to do, and you can divide it in a way that you do not override each other's. So right now, like you can do version control how for LWC, how you do in a general way. For flows, again, you can either you can just do you can create two different version of the same component and build your own features and then merge it later. It depends on how you want to go forward.
Okay, perfect. Next question we have from Saurabh. I want to pass contact ID from LWC to Flow. I have made it at API, but still it is unable to read.
Yes, so you want to pass the value from LWC to flow, right? So in that case, it won't go automatically. So what you have to do, you have to dispatch the values, right? Otherwise, it won't be available. So how I am passing this name property value to flow? In the same way, you can dispatch the contact record ID using this flow attribute change event and dispatch event function. So you can do it on the connected within the connected callback, like when the LWC is loaded and a record ID is available, you can just dispatch the value and it will be available in the LWC sorry, in the flow to use.
Okay, hope Saurabh, you get clarity on your question. So next we have from Parthiban. In LWC, can we create the required field and set component visibility fields in Flow? Like in standard components in Flow, these features are available. Similarly, can I make this on LWC too?
So you have to tweak it, right? So basically, I will go here. So consider I will create few public property. Let's say I want to show and hide this lightning input from the flow. Like I want to control it from the flow. So what I can do, you know, right? There is a if else if feature within the LWC, right? So you can just simply create a public property of type, and then you can pass true false from the flow. So here, right? Here. So how we are passing this text value, right? Similarly, you can have a boolean property and pass true false, and based on that you can show and hide within the LWC. So this is the way to go for the scenario you asked.
Okay, perfect. Another question we have from Ramesh. In schedule triggered flows, can you have two parallel paths? Example, one runs immediately, other path should run after 2 minutes for the same record.
Yes, so in a schedule path, is just want to clarify, is this a schedule path for record triggered or the batch flow? So if it is record, yes, you can have multiple schedule paths and for multiple timings. So consider this, right? I will give you a quick scenario. So let's say there are some cases and nobody has touched it. So there are inputs required by customer and agent is expecting them. So business wants to send them reminder. So you can have multiple schedule paths, uh, and you have SLA. Okay, if customer doesn't respond in next 45 days, I will close the case. So you can send, okay, with in 7 days, 15 days, 13 days, 45 days, I will send the email, and it doesn't get any response, I will just close it. So yes, definitely you can have multiple schedule path.
Okay. Um, and also, people are asking that if you can share some of the practice scenarios for them to, if you have some practice scenarios
Okay.
questions.
Uh,
Yeah.
Practice scenarios, definitely. So I have listed down some of the practice scenario under this. You can go to my blog and you can see some of the practice scenarios. But concept wise, to practice,
Mm-hmm.
uh, they can just search here with the flow and they will get all the kind of scenario, right? Like how to use generic lookup within the flow to LWC,
Amazing.
LWC. There are lots of blogs related to flow and LWC. They can explore it.
Yeah, Sanket, I would request if you can please share your blog in the chat window so that people can. Yeah. And another question we have from Saurabh, like I think this we have already taken up. Another questions from Sunny. I request you to kindly organize session on leverage LWC and record trigger flows as well. So yeah, definitely we will organize some sessions more with Sanket regarding LWC and flows. Record triggered flows, Sanket, we have in
Yeah,
demand.
definitely.
Yeah, so I think your questions. Okay, can you please suggest some use cases when we need to use this? If we are just calling screen flow, can we create in the LWC? Then why we are using this?
Okay, right. So There are scenarios. Let me show you. So in LWC, if you go back to LWC developer guide, right, you can see you have these many base components, right? Now in the flow also, you have these many components which you can easily use. But I am pretty sure some of the base components are available here, they are not available here. And some of the component which are available here, they are not available in the flow. So this is one use case where you want to use them together. Some of the other use cases is, consider you want some of the things. Let's say you want to override this navigation behavior within the flow, or you want to do some fancy thing within the flows which is not possible out of the box. So definitely you will need LWC in those kind of scenarios, right? So if customer doesn't want next this previous button and all, they want some other custom button in the center, something else. So that kind of things you have to rely on LWC. And there are many other things, right? Consider just consider this situation. So here, if you have to create the, like, let's say you have to create a record form, so you can do use lightning record edit form or the lightning record form directly in LWC and do that. uh, but we can also use it from the flow also, if in a very easy way. So for example, all you have to do is you can just create a new resource of type, let's say, account, and done. And then you can simply add all the fields of the account. So there are many unique features on flow which are not available in LWC, and there are many unique features on LWC which are not available in flow. So yes, together they make a good user experience in terms of business solution.
Great. Yeah. Thank you so much, Sanket, for answering all the questions. And I hope many multiple questions being answered by going through your blog. So I would request everyone to please go through Salesforce Diaries that has amazing scenarios and the various videos on the flows you can get them. And thank you again, everyone, for joining the session. And thank you, Sanket, for accepting our invitation and be a speaker to our today's session. Thank you. It was a very fruitful session.
Yeah, thank you, Swati and Sandhya, for inviting me, and thank you everyone for attending my session.